Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eli and I like to talk about books. I really like books. I'm going through a phase where I decide even more that I like books, as if I didn't already know that. But you know what? Let me live my life, okay? Let me live my life. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about all the books I want to read in May. I almost never do a TBR because I'm just so bad at following them. I guess mainly I don't follow TBRs because I set them for myself and then I'm like, but what if I want to read this? And then I just read the other thing and then I go on from there. So I just thought I would do a brief TBR, you know, money don't dribble, it folds and I can see you wiggle, wiggle, faux show. Anyway, what's going on inside my brain? Do you ever just look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head? Anyway, I do, but that's besides the point. That was a reference. If you didn't get it, I am sorry. Okay, let's actually get into okay, as you can see on my bed, I'm currently reading Dune. I just started it yesterday. I'm really not that far in, 50 pages, not even 35. Wow. I'm reading this for a video, and I have a bunch of other books that I'm reading for a video, but I'm just gonna mention Dune, and I mentioned it, you know? We'll go from there. But yeah, so I'm currently reading Dune, and then I have about 4 other books on my TBR for this week, you know. 6'2" in a compact. I don't know why every time I say, you know, that song gets stuck in my head. Anyways, I'm reading Dune right now. This is the major item to tackle this month in May. You know what? Whoa. Let's just move on from that because my brain obviously is not functioning properly. So the next book that I want to read because I literally don't know why I bought it, to be honest, and I don't think I'm going to like it, and I just want to read it so that it gets off my shelf. To be perfectly frank with you, and that is The Sentence by Louise Erdrich, maybe? She wrote a Pulitzer Prize winning fiction novel, The Night Watchman, and I guess maybe I should have read that. I don't know, it just didn't seem interesting to me, and this one's about books, at least. I don't know, I guess the flap sounded interesting, but I don't know, I don't even really know what it's about. I'll read you the blurb, and you know, that's why I picked it up, right? So, the sentence asks, what we owe to the living, to the dead, to the reader, and to the book. A small independent bookstore in Minneapolis is haunted from November 2019 to November 2020 by the store's most annoying customer. Flora dies on All Souls Day, but she simply won't leave the store. Tookie, who has landed a job selling books after years of incarceration that she survived by reading with murderous intention, must solve the mystery of this haunting while at the same time trying to understand all that occurs in Minneapolis during a year of grief, astonishment, isolation, and furious reckoning. Yeah, it stays at least in a bookstore. I might not read this. I'm gonna give it a good try though. So I want to read this to get it off my shelf. End of story. The next book I want to read because it's the most recent book I purchased, and I want to read it, and I'm trying to get better at reading the books I purchase sooner, but I'm also trying not to buy new books, so I'm going to try to read the books that I buy sooner rather than later, so that when I continue reading through my TBR, which this is all the books, I haven't read most of these books, as you can tell, there's a lot there. This is just one shelf. I have a lot of books, and all of the books I have in my house currently are books I haven't read, unless I've just read them. Anyway, long story short, I'm gonna read Second Place by Rachel Kusk. This just came out in paperback, recent haul. I got it a week ago, not even, probably 5 days ago, and I just want to read it before I get too far away from buying it, because, you know, then it just becomes less and less exciting to me, and I want to break that habit and start reading the books I buy sooner. Are you ready for the blurb on the back? A woman invites a famous artist to use her guest house in the remote coastal landscape where she lives with her family. Powerfully drawn to the paintings, she believes his vision might penetrate the mystery at the center of her life. But as a long, dry summer sets in, his provocative presence itself becomes an enigma and disrupts the calm of her secluded household. Second Place is a haunting fable of art, family, and from Rachel Kusk. It is a study of female fate and male privilege, geometries of human relationships, and the moral questions that animate our lives, reminding us of art's capacity to uplift and to destroy. Sounds cool. I read the first Outline trilogy one, which I think is called Outline. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. It could not be Outline. It could be Kudos. Never mind, it's called Kudos. I read Kudos. I really liked Kudos. but I'd never finished the trilogy, and then this came out, and I was more interested in this. Then I might go back and read the Outline trilogy. Anyway, I have read Rachel Kusk in the past, and I really liked it, so I'm excited for this, and I just want to read it sooner rather than later. Cool. The next book is also a recent purchase. A very recent purchase, but not quite as recent as Second Place. It's just the most recent before that, and that is Scattered All Over the Earth by Yokotawata. I read The Emissary last month, and I really, really liked it, so I went out and bought this book, and I just, again, want to read the books I buy sooner rather than later. I also don't know what this one is about. I feel like there's a pattern here. A lot of the times I buy books because I've heard about them, or I like the author, and not because I like know what they're about. Like, obviously I read the back, but not in like a really in-depth way, I'm realizing. I didn't know this about myself until like literally right now. Like, I kind of knew it about myself, but like I didn't know it about myself. So anyway, let's read the back of this one. In Scattered All Over the Earth, the mind-bending, cheerfully dystopian new novel by Yokotawata, the world's climate disaster and its attendant refugee crises are viewed through the loving twin lenses of friendship and linguistic ingenuity. Welcome to the not-too-distant future. Japan, having vanished from the face of the earth, is now remembered as the land of sushi. Haruko, a former citizen and a climate refugee, has a job teaching immigrant children in Denmark in her invented language, Panska, Pan-Scandinavian. Homemade language, no countries to stay in. 3 countries I experienced, insufficient space and brain, so made new language, homemade language. As she searches for anyone who can speak her mother tongue, Haruko soon makes friends. Her troupe travels to France and Stockholm, and in a series of mesmerizing scenes encounters an umami cooking competition, a dead whale, an ultra-nationalist, kakuzo robots, and much more, each scene more vivid than the last. With its intrepid band of companions scattered all over the earth, the first novel of a trilogy, wow, cool. It may bring to mind Alice's Adventures in Wonderland or Surreal Wind in the Willows, but really it's just another sui generis Yokotawata masterpiece. That sounds really cool, actually. When did this come out? Because I want to check out the other 2018. But the copyright's this year. Gosh darn it. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited to read this. Sounds interesting. Glad I picked it up. Alright, the next book I read was literally just, I bought this book because a friend recommended it, or basically had read it, and I saw that they had read it, and I was like, ooh, cool, I'll buy it too. And then my friend was like, you should read this book when I asked her, which book should I read next? So, that's Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. I just bought her new book, The Books of Jacob. So basically, because I have a duplicate more than one author on my shelf with more than one unread book, if that makes it. Like, I try to keep it at one unread book per author. I think that makes sense. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. I also don't really know what this one's about. Let's read it. In a remote Polish village, Janina devotes the dark winter days to studying astrology, translating the poetry of William Blake, and taking care of the summer homes of wealthy Warsaw residents. Her reputation as a crank and a recluse is only amplified by her not-so-secret preference to the company of animals over humans. Then a neighbor, Bigfoot, turns up dead. Soon other bodies are discovered, and increasingly strange circumstances. As suspicions mount, Janina inserts herself into the investigation, certain that she knows who done it. If only anyone could pay her mind. That's cool. I like whodunit murder, so it actually sounds really cool. I'm excited. And the last book that I have to mention, I actually have another one. I just forgot to pull it from my shelf, and I will mention it after this one. Anyway, this one is an autobiography of Red by Carson. It's a novel in verse. I believe, actually, it's about Hercules. And it's like a reimagining because Anne Carson's a classicist. Is that what they're called? She studied classics. Anyway, yeah, I think it's literally just about Hercules and Geryon, a young boy who's also a winged red monster. I think they would fall in love and stuff. So, I don't know. It's cute. And I just wanted to read something that's not novel fiction or nonfiction, but just like that's more exciting than novel this month. And the last book I mentioned is just like Yokotawata book. I read another book by this author that I really liked, and I went out and bought the second book. I literally do not want to know what it's about. And honestly, I don't want to know what it's about, so I'm not going to read you the back cover. And that is The Setting Sun by Osamu Dazai. I read No Longer Human, and I really enjoyed it. I loved his writing, so I picked up this one, which I know is more popular, or at least easier to stomach. not as miserable, which I am. So, looking forward to that. Anyway, those are some of the books I want to read in May. I read a lot of books, so chances are I will read more than the pile that I just mentioned. But I'm going to try to read all the books in this pile. I might not. I might just totally branch off and go in a completely different direction. But I am trying to lower my physical TBR list because right now it's 120 books, which is a lot. And I want to be able to reread books and take my time and not feel pressured and be able to buy books and read them as they come out and stuff like that. So I'm working on it. But if I read these, 7 books? Well, it's 6 and then 7 including Dune. If I read these 7 books, I'll be at 113 books. So I can do it, right? I'm gonna try to do it. Yes, this is a mess of a video, but I'm just trying to pump out videos and get more into the habit of it. And so if you watch this, thank you very much. You're supporting me on my journey, and I'm so proud of where I'm going. That's my bear's butt. I got a new bookshelf today. This is new. I'm very proud of it. I have another one that I'm going to put over by my door. It's very exciting. I think when I have all my books back from my aunt's house, I will do a bookshelf reorganization and tour, but we'll see. I have a lot of books, so that would be a very long process, and I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, again, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Lovely to meet you. Okay, bye.